Those four exhaust pipes of his rekindled my youthful obsession with four-cylinder motorcycles. As you can see, these are all traces left by time. They make me really want to restore it. So, I went online and looked up all the information about this bike. I learned that this bike already has a history of more than 30 years. My over 50 years of repair experience tells me that although it may not look great on the outside, engine still looks pretty good from the outside. There's not a trace of oil leakage. Now, I'm going to try everything I can. First, to get this engine started. The starter motor turned for a brief moment, just as I expected. The engine isn't seized. That means this engine shouldn't have any major problems. When the engine fired for that brief moment, it actually sounded pretty good, but it's burning oil badly. So I had no choice but to remove the engine and give it a full overhaul. I can no longer tell whether this is coolant or just water. I've already taken the engine out. Seeing this thick sludge, I have to take it to get thoroughly cleaned. So, I started disassembling this engine, draining the engine oil. Seeing this color gives me a bad feeling, so I speed up and remove the valve cover. When I see this, it's actually a bit better than many I've seen in my life. You can see that although the camshafts have some wear, it's still acceptable for use. I originally thought the camshafts would be covered in sludge, but from what I see now, it's giving me some hope again. Without exception, every combustion chamber is full of carbon deposits. I originally thought that changing a set of piston rings would solve the oil burning problem, but now it doesn't look so optimistic. As well as cylinder to have badly corroded cylinder walls. This engine has been left sitting for a very long time, and completely stripped down this engine to check whether its other components also have. Now I can only pray that the core part, the crankshaft, is fine. If the crankshaft is scored, this engine really isn't worth repairing. When I got to the clutch basket, I found that this clutch basket also had some looseness. Looks like it will also need to be repaired later. Then I opened the crankcase, and as you can see, this crankshaft is absolutely fine. The gearbox is also in great shape, after more than 30 years. Is really quite remarkable. Then I removed its connecting rods and pistons for inspection. Are all badly scored and worn. I also saw that the fourth connecting rod is heavily worn. The other three rods are no exception, and all have varying degrees of wear. Looks like these rods will have to be sent out for repair. While I'm at it, I'll clean all the parts thoroughly, and when the refurbished parts come back, four-cylinder motorcycle from the 90s back to life. Ultrasonic cleaning really works great. The sludge and oil passages and exhaust passages, all those carbon deposits, have been cleaned out. But now I've discovered a new problem. The paint on its side covers has peeled off, and the aluminum surface is starting to oxidize. Looks like I have to take it for sandblasting. I'm especially pleased with the sandblasting result. It's also my favorite elegant matte silver. While I was doing all this cleaning and side fairings, as I was mounting the tank, my refurbished steel parts finally arrived. After more than a month, I've finally gotten all the engine's parts and pieces. The rod assembly has been refurbished, and this clutch cover has also been sandblasted. It's my favorite matte silver finish. Fortunately, this crankshaft turned out fine. Has also been repaired. Next I'll show you assembling this 30-year-old engine. This is one of the factory's smallest displacement four-cylinder engines. You can see its pistons are very delicate. To me they're no longer just parts. They're works of art. Absolutely one of a kind. Now the crankcase is assembled. Previously the valve clearances on this engine were too large. The clearances are determined by the thickness of these shims, which sets the valve gap. So before disassembly, I measured the valve clearances. Now I just need to be a bit careful, and hopefully I can adjust them back to factory spec. It's now 2:30 in the morning, and I've already got this 4-cylinder 250 engine installed. If everything goes well, I should be able to start it in about half an hour. When the engine finally fires up, it feels like all the effort was worth it, but it's still having an unstable idle, and the carburetor on cylinder 3 is leaking a bit of fuel. Next I'll clean this 30-year-old carburetor set, from top to bottom. This 30-year-old carburetor has now been completely taken apart. As you can see, it's extremely dirty with old fuel deposits. Now I just need to clean out its fuel passages and air passages. Then I just reassemble it in the reverse order. This 30-year-old carburetor has now been cleaned. Now let's move on to some precision work. 4-cylinder carb synchronization. It's done by adjusting these 3 square head screws. To get them perfectly even, I've now connected all 4 vacuum gauges. These 4 columns show the vacuum values of the 4 cylinders. You can see they're far from balanced. Now I have to adjust those screws and the mixture screws to bring the vacuum of all 4 cylinders in line. It took me 2 hours to get it dialed in perfectly. It's now 1:30 in the morning. Because someone kept pushing me to upload, I have to speed up the progress. I can strip down this battered frame. It's now 4:30 in the morning. I've completely taken apart all the parts on this bike. I thought that once the engine was done, everything else would be easy. But during disassembly, I found that the front and rear brake master cylinders and the front forks were also leaking oil. Hopefully it's just old seals causing the leaks. Also, the headlight and instrument cluster are shot. These will have to be repaired or replaced later. You can vaguely see that the frame has rust in various places. Seeing this really makes me want to collapse. But to match this engine, I can only grit my teeth and turn it into something I like. This magic rust remover really works. The old paint has come off perfectly, and then I spray on an epoxy primer. At this point I can no longer put into words the joy I feel seeing it. While the paint is still drying, I'll go take care of other tasks. Now I can only move on to this gear cover, because with parts this old, I really don't know where to find replacements. This sprocket cover is also badly chipped. The front forks are also leaking oil. Hopefully it's just the old seals causing it. At At this point, the front suspension has been fully disassembled and inspected. Inspection shows the leaks are indeed due to hardened seals. Fortunately, the front brake calipers themselves aren't leaking. And the front brake master cylinder seals have also aged, which caused all those leaks. With parts this old, I really have no idea where to source them. Next, I'll repair the tank and side fairings with filler. While sanding, I even found the original paint from 30 years ago. This dark green is its original factory color. Although this dark green looks great, it's officially called sapphire blue. To suit its name better, I decided to repaint it blue. Later, after a long search that sells seals and bearings, and I found fork seals that fit this bike, as well as seals for the front brake master cylinder. I've already cleaned all these calipers. Next, I'll show you reassembling this 30-year-old front suspension. The front forks are now fully rebuilt, and I've installed the caliper pistons as well. Previously, this front master cylinder was also leaking. It was caused by the sealing rings aging. Now, I just need to install the new seals, and the leaking problem will be solved. Now the entire braking system has been completely overhauled. This little sprocket cover was also badly damaged, and I tried many methods to fix it. In the end, I used 2-part epoxy and filler to restore it perfectly. Next, I'm going to paint this caliper in a color I like. This gold finish looks really nice. It's now 11:55 at night, and I've finished repairing every single part of this bike. The final step now is reassembly. At last, this 30-year-old 4-cylinder street bike is fully reassembled, but it still feels like something is missing. Oh right, I haven't put on the emblem. Maybe that's its very soul. Let me let you hear the sound of its first start after reassembly. I originally wanted to modify it into a retro style, but later I realized that restoration to original is the best ending for an old bike like this. The whirring sound of the gears is especially beautiful. Once you've heard it, you'll never forget it. It's about to become part of my family. I originally thought fixing this bike would only take a few days, but it ended up taking several months. It was truly exhausting, but when I look at it, my heart is filled with joy. It will definitely be an unforgettable memory in my life.